Have you ever felt like you were just wasting time? Like your days were passing, but you weren't really living? My name's Sara. I'm 29 years old, and that's how I felt every single morning. I would wake up, check my phone, scroll through social media, drink coffee, go to work, come back, and repeat. There was nothing exciting, nothing new. I wasn't learning. I wasn't growing. I was just surviving. And the worst part? I was stuck in a job I didn't like. I worked at a small store downtown. I folded clothes, smiled at rude customers, and cleaned shelves. Day after day. No one cared if I had dreams. No one asked if I was happy. I didn't even ask myself. But I remember one day that changed everything. It was a rainy Tuesday. I had been feeling tired and low for weeks, maybe even months. I was standing behind the counter looking outside. Gray sky, wet streets, people walking fast, umbrellas in hand. I was thinking, what am I even doing with my life? And then a tourist walked into the store. He smiled and said something in English. I froze. I knew it was English, but I didn't understand a word. Not one. He kept talking. I panicked. My heart started beating fast. I pointed at my ears and said, "No English." He looked confused. He said slowly, "Socks. I need socks." I still didn't get it. I felt stupid. He pulled out his phone, typed the word socks, and showed me the screen. Socks. Of course. I laughed nervously and showed him the section. He smiled and said, "Thank you." And then he left. It was a small moment, but I couldn't stop thinking about it all day. I felt useless, embarrassed. I had studied English in school years ago, but I had forgotten everything. And that moment made me realize something very clear. I was wasting my life. I wasn't learning anything new. I wasn't doing anything to change. I was just stuck, and I didn't want to stay stuck anymore. That night, I got home, took a shower, made tea, and sat at my small kitchen table. I opened my laptop and searched how to learn English at home. There were so many options: apps, videos, podcasts, free courses. I didn't know where to start. But I found a YouTube channel that told stories in simple English, like this one. The person on the screen looked kind, and they were speaking slowly. I clicked play, and something inside me woke up. I listened to the story. I didn't understand everything, but I understood enough. The woman in the video was talking about feeling lost, just like me. But she started learning English, and it gave her purpose. At the end of the video, I cried. I didn't cry because it was sad. I cried because I felt hope. For the first time in a long time, I thought, maybe I can change. Maybe it's not too late. So I made a promise to myself. I will learn English. Every day, a little bit. I will not waste any more time. Let me share some expressions and phrases I learned during that moment of my life. 1. I froze, meaning I didn't know what to say or do. I felt nervous and couldn't move. Example from my story. He smiled and said something in English. I froze. 2. I I felt stupid. This is something people often say when they feel embarrassed or insecure. It doesn't mean they are really stupid. It's just an emotional expression. Example: I still didn't get it. I felt stupid. 3. What am I even doing with my life? This is a common question people ask themselves when they feel lost or unmotivated. Real-life tip: this question often comes when we're unhappy, but don't know why. 4. I wasn't learning. I wasn't growing. This type of sentence shows a lack of progress. The structure, I wasn't plus verbing, is common in storytelling. Grammar tip: this is the past continuous, useful to talk about how things were at a certain time in the past. 5. Maybe it's not too late. This phrase expresses hope. It means, I still have time to change or improve. Have you ever promised yourself something, but then struggled to keep it? That was me. I had made a big promise to learn English every day, but I didn't know where to start. The next morning, I woke up 30 minutes earlier. I was tired, but I made tea and opened my laptop. I watched the same video again. I paused, repeated, wrote some words in a notebook. It felt good. The second day, I watched another story, and the next day, another one. I started to like it. I didn't understand every word, but I understood more and more. I even started thinking in English, just a little. Simple things like, what time is it? I'm hungry. This is my cup. I felt proud. But of course, life isn't always easy. After about 2 weeks, my routine got busy again. A coworker got sick and I had to work extra shifts. I was tired. I came home late. Some nights I forgot to study. Other nights, I just didn't feel like it. One night, I sat on my couch, eating a frozen pizza, watching a silly TV show, and I heard a voice in my head. You said you wanted to change, so why are you giving up so easily? That voice was me, but a stronger version of me. The version that wanted more from life. So I turned off the TV. I opened my notebook. I reviewed the words I had learned. Then, I did something new. I wrote a short paragraph in English about my day. It was something like this. Today I worked a lot. I was tired. A woman came to the store. She was angry. I smiled. I gave her what she wanted. She said thank you. I felt better. It was simple, but it was mine. And for the first time, I saw that English wasn't just grammar and tests. It was me, my feelings, my thoughts, my life in a new language. I started doing this every day, writing one short story about my day. Sometimes funny, sometimes boring, sometimes sad. And slowly my confidence grew. Then one afternoon, something amazing happened. A young woman walked into the store. She looked lost. She came up to me and said, "Do you speak English?" I paused. Then I said, "A little. How can I help you?" Her face lit up. "Oh, thank God. I'm trying to find the train station." I smiled. I knew this one. I said, "Go straight, turn right, then left. You will see a big sign." She looked at me and said, "Wow, your English is good." My heart exploded with joy. That night I wrote in my notebook, "Today someone said my English was good." I helped her. I felt proud. I am learning. I am not wasting my life. Let's look at some real English expressions from this part of my journey. 1. I made a promise to myself, meaning you decide something important for your life. Example, I made a promise to myself, I will learn English. 2. I felt proud, meaning you feel good about something you did. Example, I felt proud when I helped the tourist. 3. I didn't feel like it, meaning I had no desire or motivation to do something. Example, some nights I didn't feel like studying. 4. She looked lost. Cultural tip. We often say someone looks lost when they seem confused or don't know where they are. 5. My heart exploded with joy. Idiom. It means you felt very happy, suddenly and strongly. Have you ever looked back and thought, I didn't know I was changing, but I was? That's how it felt. Every small step, every notebook page, every video, every mistake was building something inside me. I didn't feel different overnight. But after a few months, I realized I was not the same person. One morning, I was walking to work, listening to an English podcast with my old headphones. The podcast was about a woman who moved to another country and learned English to start a new life. Her voice was strong, confident, and I suddenly thought, I want to be like her. Not just with English, but with everything. I wanted to feel strong. I wanted to be proud of who I was becoming. That day at work, something unexpected happened. My manager called me to the back room. She said, "Hey, can you help with a new project? Can you help? We're opening an online store and we might have international customers. You're the only one here who knows some English." I blinked. "Me?" She nodded. "Yeah, I've noticed you've been practicing. You're doing great. We could really use your help." I almost cried. All the nights I doubted myself. All the moments I thought, why am I doing this? They led to this moment. I said yes. The project started small. I helped write simple product descriptions in English. I answered a few emails from customers abroad. I used Google Translate sometimes, but also used what I had learned. And guess what? I was doing it. Slowly. Yes, but doing it. One evening, I stayed late to finish some emails. My coworker came over and asked, "How do you say Freda in English?" I smiled. "Shipping." She laughed. "You're like our English expert now." That night, I walked home with the biggest smile on my face. It wasn't about being perfect. I still made mistakes. I still forgot words. But I was using English. I was growing. More than anything, I had changed on the inside. I didn't feel invisible anymore. I didn't feel stuck. I felt like I had power. I had direction. And for the first time in years, I was proud of myself. Now every time I hear someone say, "I'm too old to learn," or "I don't have time," I tell them this: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to study for hours. You just need to start and keep going. Because learning English didn't just help me talk to people. It helped me believe in myself. Final English tips from my story. Here are the last phrases I want to share with you, real ones from my journey. 1. I didn't know I was changing, but I was. Meaning, sometimes we change slowly, and we only notice later. 2. I want to be like her. Grammar note. We use like here to mean similar to someone we admire. 3. Can you help with a new project? Common work phrase. Great for polite requests. Learn to recognize this in emails and meetings. 4. You're like our English expert now. Everyday comparison. You're like is a soft way to compliment or describe someone's new skill. 5. It wasn't about being perfect. Mindset tip. This phrase reminds us that progress matters more than perfection. Let me ask you something. What small promise can you make to yourself today? Even 5 minutes of English. 1 word, 1 sentence. That's how everything changed for me. And maybe it can change your life too. If this story touched your heart, let me know in the comments. Tell me your English journey. Or just say, I'm starting today. You are not wasting your life. You're learning, you're growing, and you're not alone. Thank you for listening to my story. See you in the next one.